We have a lot of problems with Pt.3. And because a lot of people have died under them, under the administration.
What really is the problem with this pension transitional admin director?
Non-payment of our entitlements. Gratuities are not paid. I said it. Omission for monthly payrolls. Our standing arrears not being paid. Nobody's agitating for the fund. Federal government said they released 74 billion to settle all our standing arrears of pensioners. You keep asking questions. Who are those pensioners? Whom do they give this money to? Up to today, nothing has been given. Pt.3 said they have not received 10 kobo. We lodged protest last week to lay our complaint to the federal, to draw the attention of federal government to our plight. That our entitlements are not being paid. 74 million is a huge amount of money. And government is spending a lot on this agency. I did not understand. I don't think they understand what they are doing. I've been saying this, and I stand to be challenged. Because if you understand what you are doing, what stops you? In fact, let me start when they established the payment. Nelly Meshach was in charge, the Director General then. She paid some arrears, about some few months. She was able to pay. But right now, another man came. We removed her because of this delay in payments. Even to pay monthly pension has become a problem. We have prolonged payment of monthly pension. Those who are on payroll, if today is 20th or 21st, you're supposed to get your money, you get it the following month, which is very bad. You will be indebted before you get your money. The money now becomes useless. And how much are we talking about? Those are stipends. We earn 8,000, 12,000, 3,000, except the directors that earn big money. And the majority of pensioners falls into the lower category. So they earn few money. You can't even pay successfully. I keep wondering, what is the responsibility of this Pt.3? To pay salary becomes problem, something that has been computerized. I mean, there are a lot of entitlements on ground. And what are these entitlements? Those are accrued pension arrears. Money that was supposed to be paid to pensioners that was not paid, it became accumulated. And we are not able to pay them. That this outstanding 33% of our arrears that have been promised by the federal government that they will pay. And we had the release 74 billion. Where is this money? Who is handling this money? Pt.3 said they don't have any money with them. And where are we going? 74 billion is a huge amount of money. And federal government seems to be confused. They don't really understand what is going on. And we, the pensioners, don't understand what is going on. Where is our money? The owners of money will ask for their money. That's what we are agitating for. Let us enjoy our money while we are alive. That's what we are saying. If you want to help us, please help us while we are alive. Give us our money, because arrears is what makes difference in the life of pensioner. He can do whatever he likes. Most of them now don't have homes. If you give them the arrears, they will rent an apartment. Some of them, their wives have run away. They've been abandoned. Like I told you, some are living in primary schools. As I speak with you now, I mean, it's a terrible situation. Some have gone blind. They can't even afford, even those on payroll, they are even starving. We are talking about people on zero level now in Nigeria, expensive country like this. Yeah. That somebody worked for 35 years, for the past 10 years, he has not gotten anything. Yeah. And people are comfortable, sitting, not bothered about it. Yeah. That is bad. It's a crime.
Mr. Oyemachi, there is the Pension Protection Fund.
Yes.
I assume that is recent. Or has it been there since the time that he's talking about?
It's also recent. Now, like I said, it's a tale of two contrasts. And it's really, really touching.
Because that fund is supposed to help out in cases like this.
The Pension Protection Fund is supposed to help out to pay minimum pension guarantee to people under the contributory pension scheme. Now, what that means is that if you have worked for 35 years and you made pension contribution, and let's assume that you contributed about 5 million, okay? Now, upon retirement, they are going to do some actual evaluation on how long do they expect you to live, but at a minimum, they'll say 10 years, okay? Now, they will ascertain a figure which will be paid from that fund for the next 10 years on a monthly basis. Now, if you do the maths, it will come to something very small. Now, the expectation is that if your pension at the end of the month is so small so that it is even below the minimum wage, perhaps like he says, someone collecting 2,000. Now, they want to put a cap to it, a floor to it, and say such an individual should at least earn like 15,000, 25,000. It has not been implemented anyway, but there are still talks about what would be the cap. Should it be 15? Should it be 25? Now, if you are supposed to collect like 12,000, and the cap is 25,000. What the Pension Protection Fund will do, if the floor, yes, what the Pension Protection Fund will do is that it will make up for the difference so that you are going to get the minimum pension. So that's what that is supposed to do. But that is not...
But it can't help them in any way now.
they are not under the contributory pension scheme. It's really unfortunate. That's the truth.
Okay, now, this scenario that he's been painting,
Yes.
Are we to assume that it no longer happens since the introduction of PFAs?
Okay. Now, you see,
That should be a yes or no answer.
let me explain.
It doesn't look like that.
You need to, now you see, now, what we discovered in our research is this. The private sector has been complying in paying their own 18% contribution, that's 10 and 8, employer.
Yeah.
But on the part of the federal government, they still have issues. First of all, they have not transited to start to paying the 18%. They are still paying the previous percentage, which is 15%, up till now.
Okay.
Secondly, accrued rights of employees with the federal government who have been in federal government employment way before the new scheme was introduced in 2004. Their accrued rights are still hanging. For instance, those who retired between October to date haven't received their accrued rights. So you'll still find the cases of federal government employees retiring and not being paid. Not because the PFAs don't want to pay, but because they have not gotten their entitlement from the government. But if you are for the private sector, it is very simple. Within 6 weeks of retirement, you should get your entitlement.
And retirement will mean 50 or, you know, or which one comes first?
Now, whichever, how the Pension Act puts it is that at the age of 50 or retirement, whichever is later. Now, if I am 50 but I'm still in active employment, I won't go and start collecting my pensions. I'll have to retire. So, but if you are 50 and you are no longer in active employment, you can then go ahead and access your fund.
But the UN says that that 60 is the new 40. So retirement age is still 50 in Nigeria?
Well, the retirement age in Nigeria is...
That's early.
No, I think retirement age in Nigeria is actually 65. But what we are just looking at is at what point will you assess your fund? Now, as I am now, I cannot assess my fund. Even though I need cash, I can't access it. Except I am retired or I'm out of job for like 3 months. Then there are certain provisions under the Act that can allow me to access certain percentage of the fund. But until when I am 50, that's when I can walk up to a PFA and say, I want to access 50% of my fund, as the case may be. And now I have to prove that I'm no longer in active service. And then at that point I can. But if I'm 49 or less.
Okay, but for someone, for instance, who